Hi, I'm Chris Lapados at Anastasiopoulos, and this is Man Free World. And today we're going to be talking about UFOs, some of the new footage that's came out just today or yesterday with this, UAP footage, which is just a new word for UFOs. They keep changing the acronyms uh, for the names of these programs. It used to be called the last one before the recent one was AAITP, AATIP, something like that. And they have another one, a new one, and so I think this is the footage coming out that new Pentagon office. So when you know it's coming out of the Pentagon, and they're putting it on TV shows like this News Nation, which just feels very astroturfed. They're letting us know. So I don't think these are aliens. Okay, I do not think these are aliens. I do believe these are some sort of experimental secret space program craft. Aliens. If this is alien craft, it's some sort of another psyop thing because they don't they have lots of technology to make it not only not be seen but not recorded. So that's the problem. Is that the stuff that we do see is all either stuff they want us to see for whatever reason, and it does break some spiritual laws for them to do that, so they can't do it very often because then it allows the positive to do incursions, which fucks them up even worse. So they have to be they have to do it with everyone on board. So that's why they use the technology as well, because they don't want to have the karmic slap come back. But anyway, let's get into the nonsense.
Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. It is not a standard or common shape of UFO or UAP, and the color change is quite strange because it implies either a camera artifact, like some sort of rescaling, or
okay. So what he's talking about is rescaling artifacts. So this is obviously an infrared. Or it seems to be infrared. And that color change is in infrared means the temperature on the surface of that thing is changing. Now they do have the technology. They have demonstrated technology, which is this thermoelectric electric effect on the plates, where you can, if you do electric current through one side in a certain way, it'll cool one side and heat the other. Anyway, it's thermoelectric effect. Anyway, it's pretty well known, and they can do that and change the infrared signature. And this looks like it might be an advanced version of one of those. Now it's floating and flying along, and they do mention that there's people on the ground. You'll see them. They don't seem to see this thing, so it's obviously like maybe quiet or silent.
Or some sort of signature management, because it doesn't make sense that would be changing from hot to cold.
So the reason I don't think there was a scaling issue is that you don't see the background change. So, sir, I don't know where you got your physics degree from, but if it was a temperature scaling thing, where the image itself was being changed to calibrate this thing, then you wouldn't. The rest of the background would change too, sir. This guy, he says he's Dr. Matthew Syzyge's professor of physics. Now, a professor of physics, I am almost 100% positive would have messed with these infrared sensors, because pretty much all these CCD sensors all work under this same way. So he should know these things. And the fact he's not talking about this stuff gives me like, this person maybe have another agenda.
So quickly, if that's what.
And you can see that it's not a smudge on the screen; it's tracking all over the place. And they must have some sort of thermal technology. This, whatever this device is, if it's alien or from here or whatever, or just some blend of the tech, because they're doing trade programs back and forth. So this could be our tech that they just want to demonstrate and explain how it, show it, they have this ability to their enemies. Other than that, they have stuff that's way more advanced than this stuff. So
what's happening that's not really physically possible as far as we know.
No, sir, professor of physics. It is possible to do these things. You do know about the thermoelectric effect. You do know how this works. So I'm sorry, sir, professor.
By the way, at one point, I don't know if we can.
It's really interesting how they can't get a lock on this thing. Why can't they lock onto it? It's like, Okay, so I have a background in image processing. I had a computer software company that did image processing, special effects stuff, tools, and things like that. So I'm really familiar with the processes involved. I'm not sure why they couldn't track this thing. It was obviously still long enough. And all I have to do is put this reticle somewhere near this thing, and the image processing will check it frame by frame, see that it's an object that's there, and lock onto it. So I don't know why. You see it in other videos, so I don't know why I didn't do it in this one. But anyway.
Can slow this down when this happens, but at one point we see this thing pass over two people who seem to be completely unaware that it's over them.
Yeah, to me that implies, again, two very different possible explanations. One, that it's not really there and is a camera artifact, or on the other hand, some sort
of... Sir, this is not a camera artifact. Any idiot can see that the camera is fine. Sir, it's rotating and translating in space. Dude, what are you talking about? Why do they put this in? Why?
Sort of invisibility, some sort of signature management.
You gotta know why. Because it keeps, okay, so they're telling you one thing, but they're giving you the head fakes to the things that it could possibly be. How about all the stuff we do know about what it is? And I'm sure this guy knows. He's my age. He's probably, if he's a nerd like me, I'm not even a physics guy. And I know about this crap.
Which, as we know, is one of the classic UAP observables.
Well, if it were invisible, would that explain why it changes colors from black to white in that video?
No, so that particular aspect is very strange because it's, as Jeremy Corbell explains, the thermal imaging, and so that would imply a temperature change from hot to cold and vice versa, which really isn't possible. So that again implies...
No, sir. Sir. That is very possible, and you know it's possible. Sir. Where did you get your degree in physics? Okay, I've had enough of this guy. I'm going to leave links for this if you want to look at the whole video, but here's another one. So here's another one from a different channel from this dark footage guy who's... Oh, man, I don't know if he's using a computer voice or whatever, but I'm not going to let him talk too much, but here we
go. Declassified footage shared by the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO, before the Senate Armed Services Committee.
All-Domain, what do you call it? All-Domain AARO? I'll put it in the show notes.
On April 19th, 2023, sparked the interest of conspiracy theorists everywhere. The clip in question, taken from a Reaper drone during a standard operation over the Middle East during the summer of 2022.
See, it's always got to put the conspiracy theorist stuff in there. That's a sign, just by the way, when someone throws that out there, that's a sign this might be a psyop. By the way, give him a like and subscribe anyway. He's all right. He's okay. And the News Nation, I'm not going to subscribe to them because it's news and I can't deal with it directly and I don't want it in my feed. So I'm just going to give him a like and then go scrub it afterwards.
Shows a metallic orb-shaped object abruptly crossing the drone's field.
So there it is, this thing here. You've seen these orbs all over the place. So it's just another release that happened a few days ago.
There's a direction.
It's a standard footage.
It's a frantic attempt by the drone to catch up with the speed of the strange object.
Nothing special. Nothing special. It's just they released another orb. And, you know, those things probably are not aliens. They're probably some sort of tech we've developed. Because the alien stuff, they let us see, like, they let us see the human-made stuff. But the alien tech, they know that that the positives see them showing the local natives what's been going. There's these treaties that have been there seems to be some sort of treaty or some sort of agreement. It might be a spiritual level kind of thing because it seems like they are all strict about it. If they show us something, the positives also get to do it, except like 10 times more. Or something. It's like a 10. There is a ratio, so the negatives are like, okay, we can't do it this way. You have to go through this persuasion route. So, okay, so this is a confirmation of a Marine that says he saw the jellyfish thing.
Everyone is calling the Jellyfish UFO. Only a portion of that video has been released so far. But News Nation's Brian Engen sat down for an exclusive interview with a Marine who watched the entire video and said it was well known on the base in Iraq where he was stationed that video existed. Brian joins us now. This veteran told you it was basically like the ghost story of the base.
Yeah, he did, Elizabeth. He said a lot of people on the base saw the video.
Very used, by the way, to all this stuff. I'm just like letting you guys know. I'm going to leave links so you can go give them likes and subscribe.
No one could figure out exactly what this object was. They did not really view it as a threat, but they did think it was a very big mystery. It is the video of an unidentified object that is sparking debate and curiosity. No one can say for sure what exactly this is, and now for the first time, we're hearing from a Marine veteran who says he served on the base where the video was taken in Iraq.
Did you think when you watched it for the first time that like it could be, you know, non-human?
It crossed my mind because the theories that we had, like I said, didn't fully explain it.
Michael Sinkoski was an intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance tactical controller at the base in Iraq. He says the video was captured in 2017 and shown to him by colleagues when he arrived in 2018. Marines nicknamed the object the Spaghetti Monster.
When they started seeing it on the camera, they were watching it to make sure that it wasn't a threat. And I believe some of the Marines were tasked to try to find it on night vision, and they were looking for it with the other sensors and everything else that we had. And they couldn't find it, so they kept an eye out, but it wasn't like we were scrambling to our defensive positions or anything like that. It was just a big unknown.
Sinkoski says the video was captured.
So the fact that they aren't scrambling, they know that they can't even go after this thing. That if they try to go after it, you can't see it. It just disappears. You can't track it. So obviously there's advanced technology involved with these things. Pretty darn sure it's terrestrial because, you know, the Skunkworks CEO guy before he left says, you know, we have technology to send ET to the stars, which means they have warp drive technology, and that it's so deep inside these projects you'll never see it, and that it's at least 50 years ahead. So just do the math. Right? So now some of this is leaking out, looks like, and I think they just want to know that. I think they're either letting their enemies know that this is ours, or there's some head fakes going on big time.
Captured by an aerostat, which is a big balloon that looks like a blimp over the base. It had cameras on it to look out for threats. Sinkoski says his colleagues tracked the object as it traveled by the base and out over Lake Habaniya in Anbar Province, Iraq.
Did you see the full 17 minutes?
Yes.
And so what else is there in the video that we haven't seen?
Not a whole lot. All I can say about that is towards the end, it seemingly just continued off into the distance. And it got smaller and smaller, whether that's because the sensor was zooming out or it was moving off in the distance, but it got seemingly far enough away to where they couldn't see it anymore, whether it dropped into the water or it just continued over the lake, because there's a lake next door of the base that we were at. But at no point towards the end of the video did it, where you could see it drop into the water and then shoot off in the sky like they were.
So obviously they don't know how to deal with it. They're not trying to shoot at it or shoot it down. So that's also kind of odd that they're not trying to shoot it down. It's an incursion on the base. So obviously this happened before. So why aren't they shooting it down? Why not? Who cares? We'll figure it out later. Shoot it down and find out what it is. Those are the kind of questions I ask. All right, here's the last one. This is the Chandelier. Another one of these UFOs they just released footage of. And this is again an infrared signature. So and they only released a still. So we don't know what the actual shape of this thing is in regular light. We only know in this infrared signature. And these could be jets coming out of here. These could be some sort of mechanical apparatus, and it looks like to have some sort of aura around it, like those other UAPs, UFOs they've released, which I believe are government technology, black budget, which it's the government doesn't even know about any of this stuff. It's all inside these secret budgets that have taken the trillions and trillions of dollars to take all the best minds in the world to develop these things.
By Corbell shows the moment he speaks to an unidentified U.S. intelligence official about this puzzling image.
So what was the most impressive thing to you about this video, which the world has not seen yet?
The fact that it makes no sense. It is just the most bizarre structure with no purpose and with speed that has everyone across the intelligence community just asking questions and trying to figure out what this thing is. There is no way.
Yeah, so it's just, they don't know what it is. So Corbell is pushing out this stuff. I don't know if he's involved or not. I've seen some interviews. I guess I have a mixed opinion about him. But in general, this stuff is all just like getting us, I guess, mentally prepared for a moment when they do some sort of invasion scenario. And all I'm going to say about that for right now, which I will go into further, is if ships do show up and they say you have to get off the planet for whatever reason, like the sun's going to go supernova or some bullshit like that, it's really going to be a bad idea if you get on the ship. Same thing with the shots. There was a dry run for what I think's coming down the pike. So if the ships show up and they say you got to get on it and then you have a time limit and you can't ask a lot of questions, you got to leave. Don't. So that's it for the videos right now. And I'll be back with more. Thanks for tuning in to Man Free World. I'm Chris Lapidolus Anastasiopoulos.